When it comes to running a business, any business, figuring out how to succeed is an ongoing challenge because with time comes changes. Now, those changes may be with consumer habits, corrections in the marketplace, perhaps emerging technology. But have you ever focused on recipes for failure in your quest to succeed? Well, that's an angle we're going to dig into today with Dean Mercado, the CEO of Online Marketing Muscle. Dean, welcome to the program.
Jeff, thank you. I'm so glad to be here, man. This is awesome.
And this is going to be a fun topic. We talk about how to succeed. Well, today we're going to talk about how to fail.
Right.
So
Right.
I'm going
And
to turn it over to you. You tell us a little bit about our topic today.
after coaching for a few decades, one thing I can certainly say is that many times it's just as good, if not more powerful, to learn what not to do as it is to learn what to do. Sometimes learning what not to do prevents us from making a lot of very big mistakes. It prevents us from spending a lot of unnecessary money, time, waste, so on and so forth, and can allow us to focus on the things that do matter. So what I have for you here today are three of my biggest ones that I see out there all the time, over and over and over. And it might be you out there, Mr. Small or Ms. Small Business Owner. I've made these mistakes myself. We all do. We fall into these trappings all the time. The key is how long you stay, right? Making those mistakes as opposed to climbing and finding your way out of them and past them. So let's dig right in. The first one that I'm going to suggest is what I call casual marketing. Casual marketing. And this is one most of us fall prey to on a regular basis, where we get lazy when it comes to marketing. And what ends up happening is many times we see this roller coaster syndrome going on. We market, sell, 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 sell. And then as soon as we get those couple of jobs in that we were looking for, we stop marketing all of a sudden, right? And the project starts slowing down, winding down, and all of a sudden we're down in that valley again and saying, uh-oh, where's the next job coming from? Or where's the next money coming from for the upcoming quarter, the upcoming whatever, right? So casual marketing is us taking more of a reactive posture to marketing. We do it when we need to, only when we need to. We don't do it enough. And therefore, we typically don't get such great results from our marketing. And those of you who've been around me long enough will always hear me say, great marketing paves the way to an easier sale. Great marketing paves the way to an easier sale. Casual marketing is the complete opposite of that, right? So watch your marketing, understand what you're doing and when you're doing it, and that will keep you from falling in that first hole or bucket, right? Second one. This one's a little bit more common, probably. You may have heard this phrase before. I've been touting it for the last 20-something years. It's what we call spray and pray marketing. And oh my goodness, how many of us do this? What this means is we don't have a good stronghold on who we're targeting. And what we do is we end up taking, for lack of a better way of saying it, more of a shotgun approach, which sprays our marketing all over the internet, all over social media, all over the audiences that are out there. And they may not be our audience. And what it does is it causes your marketing costs to go way up. It causes your brand quality and your brand perception to go way down. People get annoyed when you're spraying them with stuff that's not relevant to them, right? It aggravates people, quite honestly. Why do we do it? Because we're lazy. That's why we do it. Because we don't want to take the time of sitting back and saying, okay, who is our true ideal target market, our ideal avatar? What do they look like? What do they smell like? Where do they hang out? How do I get in front of them? Those kinds of things, very, very important for us to be clear on before we start just spraying the message out there. What I recommend is more of what we call a sniper marketing approach. Know exactly what you want to hit and hit it. Go right at that target as opposed to spraying it and hoping that maybe your target gets in the way of what you're spraying out there. Big difference, right? It'll allow you to really hone in your finances and do a much better job with your marketing dollars. The third biggest bucket, biggest hole that I see people falling into all the time is what I call flavor of the day marketing. And yes, we're all guilty of this. Over the last couple of decades, we saw many different flavors come down the pipe. And while some of these flavors are wonderful, things like social media, when that entered the scene, everybody jumped on the bandwagon, not really knowing what they were doing or why they were doing it, and not really doing a very good job. And still, some almost 15, almost 20 years later, people are still doing the same junk on social media and getting no result from it, right? Then we saw things come in like funnels. All of a sudden, everybody's talking about funnels. You got to have a funnel. You don't have a funnel, what's wrong with you? Your business is going to fail. So funnels, same thing. Funnels are great, but you need to know what to do with them. It's more than just throwing it out there and saying, okay, let's go. You know, the latest thing coming in right now is AI. Don't let that do to you what's possible to do to you there if you allow it to let you get lazy and think that all of a sudden these new trends, these hot new trends like AI is going to do it all for you. No, 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 no. So we've got to be very, very careful that we're not following flavor of the day marketing. We follow what works. If you truly know your target market, you should start to understand what they respond to and what they don't. So we certainly don't want to spend money, time, and energy on something that is not going to trigger our potential target market into buying something from us, right? So just to recap those three biggies right away, we've got casual marketing, we've got spray and pray marketing, right? And then we've got the flavor of the day marketing. Be leery of these three. They're very dangerous. They seem like nothing, but on the surface, but they drain your energy, drain your dollars, drive your brand down, so on and so forth. So how do you get past them? Number one, have a plan. Know exactly what you want to do and why you want to do it, right? That plan, if you stick to that plan, it'll stop you from following these flavor of the day things. It doesn't mean your plan can't adjust. Your plan should be fluid. It should be able to adjust, right? Bob and weave with what's going on out there, right? You should be able to look at your metrics and see, is this working? Is it not working? And make adjustments along the way. So having that plan. I would also say, do a better job of targeting. Really sit down and think through, who is my ideal target market? And I said a few things before, you know, who are they? Where do they hang out? Right? These are the kinds of things you need to really know. What triggers them to buy? What publications do they read? What organizations do they hang around in? Right? Know your target market. For me, a big part of my target market are cleaning companies. Where am I hanging out? With Jeff, right? The man when it comes to the cleaning company. So that's being very transparent to you, you know, and you should be with your target market as well. And then I would say, once you've targeted properly, then focus on what I call the fewer better. Do less marketing, but do better marketing. Stop spraying stuff all over the place. Focus your energies and your money on things that have a chance of working. So we call this the fewer better. So plan it, target it, focus on fewer better, and you'll have a much better result in your marketing, I guarantee it. Does that make sense, Jeff?
It makes sense. And I love coming in cold on these interviews with you, Dean, because I don't know what you're going to say. I kind of thought you talk about the spray and pray because that's so common. You know, you shotgun it, you just put it out there. But I love the casual marketing and flavor of the day as well. So three great things we should not do and strategies to overcome them. I have a question though for you.
Please.
How often do you talk or try to coach business owners and you tell them this stuff and they're like, but I always did it that way? Is that a comment? All the time.
All the time. And, you know, as a coach, I don't get paid as a coach to placate somebody, to make them uh, feel that what they're doing is okay. If you don't want to hear the truth, then don't hire a guy like me. You know, bottom line is, yes, I understand this is what you've always done, but what you've always done may get you what you've always gotten, or typically worse, because it tends to get worse over time, not as effective over time.
Mhm.
So I would also suggest sometimes what was once old is new again. Don't be afraid to investigate things that maybe worked 10 years ago, because there's a chance that it may work today because everyone else is playing flavor of the day marketing. What can you do that makes you different? And we did an episode a few back, right, Jeff, on differentiate,
Exactly.
right? Win. So go back and listen to that, folks. Take a peek at that. That may help you here. But yes, we do hear that all the time, Jeff. Everybody, oh, this is what I've always done. It's what, yeah. How's that working for you?
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. And I have had conversations with a few seasoned business owners, older ones, who they might not say it out loud, but in their comments, they're concerned about this younger, aggressive, tech
Sure.
savvy entrepreneur who they may not know what they're doing in the business or with the industry, but they know business. They know how to get results. So I tell you what,
Right.
this is important to stay up with what's current, what works, but sometimes the flavor of the day can get us off target.
Absolutely. The key is whatever you're going to do it great or don't do it. That's really the bottom line. That doesn't mean don't market, period. You've
Hmm.
got to find those one, two, three things that we call your unique marketing recipe. Find those. Need help finding them? Check out my blog. I've written tons of stuff on this over the years. You've got to find the things that come naturally to you and that your audience naturally responds to, because it's always about the right message at the right time to the right audience using the right medium. When you use that formula, you're going to hit your target more often than not and get a result that is a little bit more pleasing to you. Does
Yeah,
that make sense?
makes sense. Good stuff. Well, Dean, did we leave anything out?
I don't think so. I think
All
we
right.
we got people maybe got their head spinning a little bit and got them thinking a little bit. I would challenge all of you to look at your marketing today and check in with it and say, am I committing any of these? Right? These three
Yeah.
recipes for failure. And if you are, put a game plan in place. Stop doing it, put a game plan in place to do something better.
And be honest when you do that.
Yes,
All right.
absolutely.